Sakuracon is a great con for anyone who's a fan of anime, manga, Japanese culture, and it's also a great family experience. Welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott, and my goal is to help you create great experiences for yourself and your family. So let's go ahead and get started. In this video, I'm going to share with you a fan's perspective of what Sakuracon 2022 was like, as well as some manga shopping. I mean, it's primarily a manga channel, so we gotta have a little bit of manga shopping in the Sakuracon experience. In the comments below, would you mind sharing if you've gone to a con before, and if so, what con do you recommend other viewers to check out? And if you'd like to see more content like this, and you've not done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So what is it like to going to a con as a family? Now before we begin, I do have a few tips I highly recommend if you are to take kids to a con. And the first being to bring snacks. They do tend to get hungry at weird times, and they may not want to wait in line for a snack. You may not want to wait in that line for a snack. Second is, plan ahead with your kids which panels they'd like to check out. My kids had so much fun before the con planning which panels they had to go see. And of course, as soon as they saw there was a Pokemon trivia panel, that was the #1 top thing on their list to do. And they were so excited on the way to the con, knowing they were going to a Pokemon trivia panel. And last, allow your kids to dress up to the con. A con is a great excuse for your kids to be able to dress up in costumes of some of their favorite characters in anime or manga. It doesn't just have to be on Halloween. My kids, they were so excited to dress up that my oldest daughter dressed up as Princess Vivi from One Piece. My son, he decided to dress up as Luffy from One Piece. And then my youngest daughter decided to dress up as Yotsuba, one of the characters from her favorite manga. My kids loved being dressed up, and their faces lit up every single time someone came to them and they recognized exactly who they were. And if you're curious, and by wide margins, there are more people dressed from the popular anime and manga Demon Slayer. The first thing we were pleasantly surprised were the booklets they handed out after registering for the con. Just look at the high quality and glossiness of each page. You can tell that a lot of love and care was put into making these booklets. And it's actually something we plan on keeping, and not one of those booklets you just want to toss out after attending a con. I was thoroughly impressed with how much care was put into each of these booklets. After registration, we headed over to the opening ceremony, and I highly recommend when you go to a con to check out the opening ceremony if they have one. The opening ceremony was a phenomenal experience for our family, as they started out with 2 songs by Taiko Drums. Next, the host welcomed the audience to the con, and then none other than himself, the Consul Japan, came on stage on a suit of Japanese armor, and he had a ton of fun with the audience welcoming us as we celebrated the opening of the 25th anniversary of Sakuracon. Next, we had a welcome greeting on video from the horror mastermind himself, Judo, who unfortunately couldn't come to the con due to the pandemic, but is hoping to make it to the next one. It was so cool to see him on the screen welcoming everyone to the experience. By the time the opening ceremony was finished, our kids wanted to go to the one panel they cared more than anything else, and that was the Pokemon Trivia Contest. And this was led by the famous Tara Sands, who voiced so many Pokemon characters from the original TV show. Tara did a great job hosting the Pokemon Trivia panel. She was kind, she was hilarious, and even humble, sharing the only reason why she got to voice so many Pokemon was because her voice sounded so funny. My kids had a great time being stumped by the many Pokemon trivia questions, such as which Pokemon's weight is the same as its number in the Pokedex. By the way, if you're curious, it's Scyther at Pokemon number 123. And after this, we went and head over to the many booths to check out merch as well as some manga. There was a ton of anime, manga, and Japanese culture booths. It was so hard to restrain ourselves not wanting to buy something at each booth. I struggled not to take something from the pixel art. It was so hard not to buy Tony Chopper as soon as I saw him, as well as there was a ton of great manga all around. Not only was there a ton of great manga, but I was surprised how much manga was at Sakura Con that's either out of print were out of stock since I've started collecting manga over a year ago. I was surprised out in the wild when I found World Trigger Volume 5, which I have been waiting over a year to come back in print. Also, my jaw almost dropped to the floor when I found many volumes of GTO, which has been out of print for years, as well as I found Rurouni Kenshin Viz Big, which also has been out of print for some time. From my last manga haul video, you saw that I started collecting Eternal Sabbath, and I was surprised to even find some volumes of Eternal Sabbath out in the wild, as this series is also out of print. Now I have a confession. I did purchase some manga, but I will reveal what I got on my next manga haul video. I will tease you a little bit. I did break my rule again, which is to not buy manga that is currently out of print. I don't know what I was thinking, but as soon as I had the series, for some reason, when it was in my hands, I felt I must buy this, as I was worried this would be my only chance to find the series. At checkout of one of the manga stores, I shared with the owner how grateful I was that they were providing so many great manga for sale. The owner shook her head and she said, "You have no idea how difficult these last 2 years have been when it comes to trying to receive manga." And I asked her, "Hey, I actually have a channel. What would you like my viewers to know?" And she said, "What you should tell your viewers is that the last 2 years have been very difficult." She shared that the supply chain is broken. Not only is it broken, but I wasn't aware she shared that there was a fire that happened overseas that actually destroyed a lot of books. So she shared it has been a very painful and difficult process bringing books over from other places. Hence why patience is so important when it comes to checking out manga. If you click the eye on the top of the corner, you'll see where I actually shared how much patience has had to play into the last year when it comes to collecting manga series. After the manga shopping, my wife was very kind to take the kids to different booths so they could each purchase one item, and I selfishly went over to the Yen Press panel, which was a phenomenal experience in itself. If you've not seen the video already, if you click the eye on the top right hand corner, you can see my experience as a fan hearing the different announcements that Yen Press made at their panel. And one thing I highly recommend if you are to go to a panel is be prepared to have a question that you could ask one of the panel hosts. Most times when you go to a panel, they will have an opportunity for anyone in the audience who wants to ask questions. So I wrote a few questions down before I began. I was extremely nervous. My heart was beating out of my chest as I was scared to go up and ask on the microphone my question. But the first thing I thought I should do is thank them for their hard work these last 2 years. One thing I've wanted for a really long time is the Pandora box set. And so I thank them for taking that risk and listening to fans and providing that Pandora box set again for people. This box set has been out of print for a while and it's been high demand, and I thought it was so kind that they're willing to take a risk and produce such an expensive box set for the public. Next, I asked my question about what would it take to see older series to be back in print. This is when they shared how bad the supply chain has been. Yen Press shared with me it used to take them 6 to 8 weeks to reprint a series. Now it's taking them 6 to 8 months. I was shocked to find out how long it's taken because of the pandemic for series and older titles to come back in stock. So if you're hearing me, Yen Press, if you watch this video, I would love to see Barakamon back in print. This is a great series for all ages. I'd love to review and share with the world on this channel. When you go to a con as a family, I also recommend finding times to rest. My family was so excited when we found out that Sakuracon had a free Japanese arcade with a ton of different Japanese games that you could play. It was a good time for our family to sit down and rest, as well as our kids had a ton of fun smashing buttons in different games we have never seen before. My son and I had a great experience with this Japanese fighting game where you're actually flying when you're punching and kicking each other. And I know a lot about video games, and this was one I had never seen or heard of before, but it was a ton of fun smashing the buttons, having no idea how each of us went and took the other opponent down. At the end of the day, while driving home, my wife and I intentionally took time to have our kids share what they thought of the Sakura Con experience. Each of them shared different highlights and things that were favorite to them that they loved about going to the con. At the end of the drive home, we asked our kids, do you want to do this again? And it was a resounding yes. So that was our experience at Sakuracon 2022, which became a great experience of Japanese culture and some manga shopping. If this video has been helpful in any way, would you like, comment, and share with a friend? And if you've not done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.